So today I want to talk about my expectation with Arknights Endfield. It is fair I should have made this video like days ago, but I'm waiting for more information about the game come out from the officials because I don't want to make clickbait and just spread misinformation. Now it is in a fair warning that I can only talk about things that I know and things that I can see from the videos available alone, so I cannot talk much about the lore and everything. All I can assume is that this is the same universe from Rhodos Island, obviously, but takes completely different story from Rhodos Island, obviously. As far as I know, it is still on Terra but takes on a different planet called Talos 2. So I'll be talking in two ways for this video, which the first half are things I noticed in the game and second half are my expectation with the game. Timestamps available. Now one thing that I see in here very clearly is that we are no longer the Doctor, but we are now called as Administrator. How do I know? Read the site, watch the video, and saw their Facebook page. So I think that should answer it. The word administrator is quite fine, although I honestly prefer the term doctor instead because I feel like it's very original than how other games call us, but I mean it's not really a big deal. What matters is that the name is quite unique, special, and quite memorable because usually games refer to us as captain, commander, boss, and a lot of mainstream names. The word administrator is quite unique because it is a combination of two words, and administrator. Even if you called us administrator, you can still hear the word administrator as you are the most important person in the game, and quite memorable because it's not just the word administrator, but it's edited to administrator. Secondly, the gameplay. The gameplay itself seems to be a Genshin Impact style. Boo! You're comparing Genshin Impact to Endfield. Boo! I haven't even said anything yet, you no-life low-lives. What I'm trying to say is, the game is Genshin Impact style, meaning it's an open world game. I only say Genshin Impact style because most people nowadays only know Genshin Impact as the only open world game, even though it's not. SpongeBob SquarePants already made one over 10 years ago, and so is other games. So Genshin Impact is honestly not that revolutionary of a game despite how much I really love it. Speaking of gameplay though, I noticed they have environmental obstacles. You know, like this teaser where they show the goal avoiding something that can seem to harm the character? Genshin does have this with their weather condition, but for this, they don't have that unless it's in domains. I'm quite hoping that Endfield will turn these obstacles and implement it in open worlds so there's more challenges available. Anyway, the graphics of this game is honestly wonderful. If I have to compare it with Genshin, they're both tied, although I might have to say that Endfield has smoother and more realistic graphic while also still in anime style, which is quite rare, you know? Genshin is heavily based on fantasy, while Endfield is heavily based on sci-fi. When it comes to the style, I feel like Honkai and Cloisters would be the best comparison, and I think Endfield captures the sci-fi aesthetic to a whole new level, where it's combined with the normal post-apocalyptic Earth combined with somewhat alien-esque style of environment. Also, can we mention how beautiful that water graphic is? Another thing that I noticed is that character following you. This kind of reminds me of 7 Knights 2 playstyle where members in your party following and helping you defeating enemies, which in one way or another sounds quite good, but in practice can be quite impractical since 7 Knights 2 implement it very poorly. Dodging is quite hard as the AIs can be really stupid, and I'm hoping that dodging enemies can be easier while also allowing you to attack your enemies comfortably, which is how Genshin executed properly. Another thing that I noticed is that CN does not have this game yet, meaning CN, Japan, Global, and I heard Korean server will be launched on the same day, which is honestly a good news for me so I can make content based on what is new. Please leave me alone. Finally, we have Male as one of the main character. Now I think it is quite a nice turn for Endfield since Arknights doesn't have male main character, except I guess the Doctor, but the game does not really specify their gender, although it is fair that the anime made the Doctor as male, but let's set that aside. Now here are my expectations for the game. First up, I noticed that there's English voiceover. You heard the game's intro? Yeah, they actually have that.
Welcome back, Administrator. Endfield Guidance System at your service. Access granted. Transmission in progress.
I think the English voiceover for this teaser executed properly and captures the AI or Alexa type. I am hoping that other English voiceovers they hire, which I can assume is going to be someone such as Zach Aguilar, Mara Junot, Keith Silverstein, Sarah Miller, Christina V, and others, and direct them into the right direction because I think Genshin does not execute that properly. All voiceovers are great. In fact, I enjoy English voiceover on Cookie Run Kingdom, League, and Mobile Legends over Japanese voiceover, which I think this shows how much directors play on a huge part. Heck, even for me, Korean voiceover is much better than Japanese voiceover in Genshin, although that is just my opinion of course. Secondly, since I can only assume that following party member is a thing, I am hoping that they made the AI smart. Seven Knights 2 executed really badly, and a lot of other games of the similar style also made it really awkward for me to play, such as Grain Chase. I still like Grain Chase though, so there's that. Next up is endgame content. Genshin execute this very poorly. I know they made endgame content with Spiral Beast and most importantly, the artifact farming so their players will stay, but at the same time there's a lot of ways to keep your players stay, such as more variety and fun endgame content. The only game that I know so far execute that properly is our Kingdom PC, where they held a weekly dungeon to gain as much resources as you can, but unfortunately it's co-op. So I'm hoping if they really made that, it's going to be on solo mode instead for Enfield's case. Moving on, energy and farming. As for energy, which is sanity in our Arknights words, keep it that way. I think they made it perfectly well as you have more consistency in terms of resources and farming as an F2P. Secondly, I know they will implement equipment farming and I don't know what they're going to turn it to, but yeah, I know they will implement equipment farming and I am hoping they made it not as hideous as Genshin because oh my god, the drop rates of that game is hideous. Next up, I am hoping that it's going to be available on PC. I do read it somewhere that it's going to be available on PC and I hope that's true because oh my god, my phone is not strong enough to take this kind of graphic. This is very self-explanatory and I just hope it's available on PC as well. Now I honestly expect... Actually no, I am hoping in fact that this game is gender neutral when it comes to playable characters. I understand that Arknights on its own is heavily waifu based game, but at the same time there's also few boys in it, and I am hoping that Endfield can make it as gender neutral based game since I think this kind of game seems to be attracting both female and male players. I mean, Genshin is very successful with their game because they have both male and female characters in it, so I don't see a reason for Endfield to not do the same. I am not saying this because I'm a Fuji or Fudan or whatever you wanna call it, but because I personally don't enjoy games with only fanservice or just one gender. I mean, I like yaoi, but I don't play New Carnival because it's way too much fanservice for me and the gameplay by itself is not my cup of tea. So yeah, I do hope you understand where I'm coming from. Finally, I am expecting a lot of Easter eggs for this game. Honestly, this is inevitable and they will add them in the game. Since they are making the world of Terra in 3D form, I will expect a lot of Easter eggs and I am hoping we might be able to see some characters from the main game such as Ami and Kalzit. I am also expecting us to visit the existing places in the current Arknights such as Langmen, Cenoborg, Victoria, Sargon, and the place that I want to visit the most, Siesta, for obvious reasons. And yeah, I think those are my thoughts for Endfield. I am really hyped for this game as it seems to have a lot of potential and I am looking forward for what they will give to us. Are you hyped for the game? Let me know in the comments. Now, I feel like this game is gonna... Let's just say... I don't really want to mention his name, but I'm very sure that this game will definitely attract that one content creator that we shall never name, but for hint, he made a lot of problem in Arknights community. So yeah, I think you know who this guy is. But yeah, I am really hyped for this game and I hope you guys also feel the same because yeah, the game looks really promising, honestly. I mean, the graphic looks really good. The water looks amazing. I can honestly make a video just for talking about the water, but yeah. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!